Hello Year 11. During this period of school closure, it is really important that we keep a record of your progress and your achievements. To this end, now and again, we put an assessment piece into your home learning. And today, we're going to look at a 12-mark assessment. We're going to look at the question, explain why Adolf Hitler became Chancellor of Germany in 1933. And this is worth 12 marks. The success criteria to get to the highest marks, 9, 10, 11, 12, is simple. Your response needs to be focused on the question. You need to produce 3 times Peel paragraphs. So you need to explore 3 reasons why Adolf Hitler's able to become Chancellor in 1933. And obviously throughout, the more detail, the more accurate information, the more evidence you provide to support your explanation, the better your answer will be. So if you've completed the research activity and the note-taking activities from the last couple of lessons, you should have quite a detailed research grid, and that's going to allow you to produce this multi-causal answer, this 3 times Peel paragraph answer. And remember, your 3 paragraphs will tell the examiner that Hitler became Chancellor due to a combination of factors, not just one thing. You'll have a paragraph that explores the impact of the Great Depression and how that was crucial in the Nazis gaining support and Weimar losing support. You'll also explore how the Nazis themselves were effective campaigners and got messages out to the German people that proved popular. But finally, you'll also be able to concede that Hitler becomes Chancellor just when his popularity is going down, and he's actually, in the final analysis, helped into power. He's given the job by people who believe they can control it. Okay, so you need to pause this now and just put as your title, explain why Adolf Hitler became Chancellor of Germany in 1933. Okay, I'm going to give you some help to make sure that you can get to the top level in this answer. So you need to provide 3 Peel paragraphs, and I've done some starter sentences for you to allow you to open with a clear point that's linked to the question. So if you look at the yellow box, the first point you can begin with is the fact that the Great Depression was a major factor in Hitler's rise to power because it made the Weimar government deeply unpopular and undermined democracy. And then, as my diagram shows, you can use your first 2 boxes on your grid, where you should have put quite a lot of detailed bullet point evidence to support these ideas. You can transform that into a really strong Peel paragraph, explaining why the Weimar government was deeply unpopular, how it had undermined democracy, and linking that back to how that's going to enable the Nazis to exploit these failings. You'll then move on to your second Peel paragraph. That's where you're going to explore the fact that as well as the Weimar government becoming unpopular, as well as this, Hitler and the Nazis were actually growing in popularity, and Hitler had to be considered for the job of Chancellor. So it's not just about the failings of Weimar, it's also about the energetic and successful campaigning of Hitler and the Nazis, and the fact that their policies did begin to appeal to a great number of Germans. Their simple messages, their opposition to communism, and you can prove that with electoral successes, the votes they get, and you should have that evidence. Again, those should be, or that evidence should be in the green section of your grid that you can see on screen. So boxes 3 and 4. And then finally, in the end, you can put a paragraph together explaining that Hitler was literally helped into power by the actions of von Papen and President Hindenburg. And that's where you should have some research in the final columns about how actually Hitler in the end was quite literally given the job just when his popularity was falling. And once you do that, you'll have 3 really strong appeal paragraphs, and you'll have provided the examiner with a really clear, linked response to the 12-mark question. Done well, that will guarantee 12 out of 12. Okay. So you need to pause the video now, you need to have your notes from the last lesson to hand, and you need to take great care in putting together 3 appeal paragraphs. So well done. You've got a really solid assessment now, so you understand how Hitler becomes the legal Prime Minister or Chancellor of Germany. What we're going to look at in the next lesson is how Hitler goes from a legal Chancellor in a democratic country to being a legal dictator in a country where democracy is effectively ended. And he does all this in just 1 year. So next lesson, we're going to explore the factors that allow Hitler to transform Germany into a one-party state with one leader, with no free and fair elections, no democracy, and just the Nazi party as the party of government.